Aloha, beautiful people, and welcome to a new episode of our awesome project called Transformational Thursdays. Always available here for you every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. BST or GMT when we go back. Whatever question you may have, kindly do so in the Facebook group. You can join our Facebook group through the link that you are going to find in the description of this episode below. That's where we take all our questions from. Would you feel safer that you just want to put it here on our YouTube channel in the comments below? Do that as well. We are going to do our best to answer ASAP. We always answer from 4 different perspectives. Vikki is the one that focuses on the 3 principles. She's always going to answer your question from that point of view. Verna is always the one who's going to support you into creating resilience from whatever it is, do whatever you want. And then Diana is going to support you and your gut health with anything she has to share regarding the microbiome. It might seem incredible, but there are so many things that are influenced by the microbiome in every question. And I am going to be there to remind you that abundance is your birthright. It's in your power, so you gotta claim it. Now, today's question is, how can I forgive someone that does not deserve it? Literally, this question has so many layers to it, but without going too deep, I'm going to be very on point. Why do you have to forgive someone? When did you give your power away for that someone to hurt you, that you have to forgive them? And what makes you feel, on the second part of your question, that they do not deserve it? I mean, I could go very, very, very deep with this because forgiveness is a topic that can be covered in every coaching area, in every niche, literally in every niche. Forgiveness is something that supports us, but forgiveness is only available when you allow to be hurt, when you give meaning to that insult or to that, whatever it is, memory that you recall, or whatever consequences were created from that situation. Okay? Absolutely everything has to do with you and how you took it, how you've seen it, what your perspective is on that. And yes, it's you're mirroring someone else. We always do. And it is up to you to reclaim your power. It is up to you to start with forgiving yourself for allowing to be hurt, for allowing yourself to be in such a situation. But ultimately, it is you who has created this situation. It is you who is in charge. It is you that creates the reality you desire and the one that you tolerate. I'm not going to go deeper because this is, as I said, a very, very deep question. If you feel like you resonated with my answer and you feel like you would like to be held accountable and get even further, deeper into it, reach out. My link is in the episode description. And Verna, I'm very curious what you have to say in regards to resilience.
How, I think his question is forgiving someone when they don't deserve it. Just have to forgive. If you're building resilience, it's not just about forgiving the person because you don't think they deserve to be forgiven. It's about you, as Dean said. It's about you. It's all coming from you. So if you don't forgive, even no matter how small it might be, or no matter how big it might be, I will just touch on, come from a faith base now. Forgive and you shall be forgiven. Because you too may have done something that you need some form of a forgiveness. So nobody is perfect. Yes, we are perfect. We are perfect, but we don't practice that perfection. So I'll go back and take that word back. We are perfect, but we don't practice perfection. We always see ourselves as not being good enough. And in that perspective, we then think that someone who have done us something is not worthy of forgiveness. Can you see that? The worthiness. We attach worthiness to the forgiveness. So then we are not worthy of being forgiven. And when you come from the perspective of being forgiven yourself and you forgiving yourself for whatever the action might be, then you start getting deep, as Dee says, because it's a lot deeper than you're allowing yourself to see. So, one of the things is about when you're thinking about building resilience in terms of how can I forgive someone, you have to begin with you. It always starts with you. You cannot start from the outside, it comes from within. So, you always have to look within. And the deeper you look, is the more reflective you become. And then you can see all the things that you wouldn't see when you are being, I would say, self righteous. Sorry, but we do get self righteous sometimes. And we need to step out of that. And when we step out of that, our power is like Dee says, when did you give up your power? And it may be that someone may have hurt you, may have been in another relationship, or they might have abused you in one way or the other, and you're thinking, oh, they don't deserve my forgiveness. So I'm going to hold on to it. And what you are holding on to is anger, because unforgiveness breeds anger, and unforgiveness breeds hate. And you need to let that go. But it starts from you. It's coming from nowhere else. It begins with you and it ends with you. So if you want to know more and you want to go deeper, I'm here to facilitate and help you to see the light, because that light is shining brightly. But because you are in this darkness, you cannot see why it is important to forgive the person, even if you think you don't need it. But we all do need forgiveness in one shape or the other, in one form or the other. So start with you. Sit back, relax, and ask yourself some deep questions. And most times, you can't ask yourself the question because you can't see it. And that's why we have these perspectives. Someone else who can be on the outside looking in can ask you the questions, and it allow you the time to sit with the question, and it allow you to bring the answers. And there might be some things that you don't like, that will come up that you don't like, but it's dealing with it and taking it on board and running with it. So that's my perspective. And as Dee says, we can go a lot deeper. So I would like to hear what Vikki has to say about that using the 3 principles.
Thank you, Verna. Thanks, Dee. Both of you are just touch the point that it's all coming from us. And the 3 principle is, it's the way how we create our life or our experience in life. And forgiveness and to forgive, it's if you see that what you hold on, it's your memory about your past. And every time when you bring back this memory, it's just your thoughts, how you remember about the past. And that memory, that remembering, stay that experience alive in you. So it's really about your experience, your thinking, how you remember what's happened in the past. But the past, it's already past, so you cannot, it's impossible that what's happened disturb you. But that's how the 3 principle works, that because the 3 principles create your moment-to-moment experience, and you always feel in the now, that's the proof of the pudding, that whatever you remember about that event, what is disturbing you about that event, it's that feeling, what you experience is in the now. So you can, obviously you can't forget what's happened with you, but as Verna says, you can forgive for the person, because every time, just reflect on yourself, that when you have bad memories or when you have bad thoughts in your head, how you are feeling and how the feeling is changes as you are thinking change. And when you are thinking about some nice memory, or you are just enjoying the moment, enjoy the sunshine, you are not even thinking about bad things. You're just enjoying the moment. And then you just feel good. But in that split seconds, when you start to call back these bad memories, you start to think about them, you feel how you felt in that time, or you feel hurt, feeling hurted. And it's just forgive, even for yourself, that you remember about that event in this way. Because until you don't forgive, you are suffering. You are suffering longer and longer and longer, as long you are keep this memory as a bad thing. Life is happening with us. Life is happening with everyone. And how you imagine or how you think about your past, the events, what's happened with you, that's how you feel. And that's it. So it's really, as Verna says, that forgive for yourself. Start from you. Start with you. Start the process, the forgiveness process. And if that person is still in your life, you don't have to like them. You don't have to deal with them. Or might you have? I don't know that what's the relationship between you and the other person. But when you are in that better mindset, when you are in a good mood and you already forget to the person what they did in the past, you can maybe start a fresh start, and you can see that person in a different perspective. Maybe you can be curious that why they did, or he did, or she did what he did. because you never know. Many times when there are this misunderstanding or something's going on, or we feel hurt because the other person told or did, it's all about we have our different thinking. We see things differently, and we are fight over who is right. But we cannot really judge who has a better thoughts. But we can just recognize that how our thoughts create our unique reality. My reality based on my thinking, Verna reality based on her thinking, the reality based on her thinking. And it's all right if we accept this fact that this is how our feelings and our realities are created. And really, forgiveness and forget the past in a way that not that it's never happened, but it's not here. It's not happening now. Only what's happening is you thinking about it. And when you check it in that way, every moment is a fresh start. Every day is a fresh day. You're not that person who you was yesterday. So you can start everything freshly, even with a bad relationship, you can start. But it's also your decision, as this says, that you deal with it or let it go. And I can talk hours about this. And if you are interested to go more deeper in this conversation, to know more about the 3 principles, that know more about how our thoughts are creating our reality and what's the connection between your thinking and our feelings, then just reach me out. You can find me on Facebook Messenger, the same name, or on LinkedIn, or my webpage on the website, or under the video. So I encourage you, keep in touch with one of us or with me, and let's continue the conversation more privately. But before we close this conversation, I want to ask Diana about gut health and forgiveness, if she has something to add. I'm so curious. I'm so excited always about hearing about gut health, because I love food. I love good food. And gut-friendly foods are good, always interesting. So thank you.
Thank you, Vikki. As everyone has said so far already, it starts with us. And that reminded me of a quote of Miguel Ruiz, which is, "We believe that we are living in an external reality, but in truth, all we ever see is inside our heads." So this is a really loaded question, because there's so much that I can think of as what's going here, what's going on there. I want to focus on the inside our heads, because when you keep thinking negative thoughts, that works a bit like a poison on your system that causes stress. Stress has an effect on your microbiome that then does not help resolve this. So there's a lot going on behind this question, and we don't know the details behind it, but it really does start with taking care of yourself first, finding your own peace. And that peace, part of it is your own health. And your own health, for a large part, is based in the microbiome. So taking care of that part of yourself, looking at the toxins in your food that could be detrimental, but also making sure you rebuild and maintain your microbiome with fermented foods, because they are really good. Fermented foods and drinks, actually. They have a large variety of different microbes in there, and the bigger the variety in your gut, the healthier your gut is, but also the healthier then your thoughts are, because there's the gut-brain axis, which requires all the healthy things in your gut, which will then help your thought processes become much more peaceful. And that's one of the things that can really help with seeing things, because thinking that someone doesn't deserve to be forgiven, I just wonder where that comes from, because that sounds a bit harsh. Most people don't really do things because they're out to get others. They do things because they live in their own world and do things in a way that's best for them without it being personal to other people. And once we can see that, then our lives will be easier. And yeah, fermented foods will definitely help with that, and prebiotic foods. So if you're interested in what I've had to say, or any of the others, because the other ladies had really good things to say as well, below this video, you will find all our details, and then you can connect with one of us, have a conversation, and see how that works for you. And I'll give you back to Dee.
Thank you, beautiful ladies. As always, it's an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to share the space with these beautiful ladies who share so much. Remember, we are not paid for our perspectives. We are not paid to be here. This is our contribution, our way of giving back to this world, our way to encourage healing, our way to encourage growth and expansion through transformation. So thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And until next Thursday, remember, transformational is essential into beingness. Love you and see you.